go do some maintenance work. Not on him. What do you think, Kobe? We're going to go over to the Quonset, and I had gotten what some of you guys have seen, some probably haven't, what got named the Mutant Mower. Okay, I'll show you what went on. This is what we call the Mutant Mower. It's a combination of a few parts, culmination of a few parts. Was the manufacturer was Wren, was built in I think Canada, North Dakota, Canada. I think it was Canada, and it's about a 1978 model. And it was a swather, a self-propelled, hydraulically driven swather. It was really nice. It still is. But what we have here is we have a couple belts. We're only running one belt because they finally both broke, and we found this one here to put on it. Anyway, it's gotten a little loose. This tightener right here, the spring tightener, and it's slipped off one of the pulleys, and it was laying there. So I've got to loosen this tension, and then put the belt on, tighten that back up, give it a little bit more tension because I'm sure that it was a little bit loose. It's running fine right now with one belt because I'm not running it very fast, and so I think it'll be good. But sometime I'll need to get a couple belts. And the other thing I'm going to show you is that this is what is that? A King cutter. It's just a brush deck, mowing deck that is a 3-point that tows behind, hooks onto a 3-point tractor. Well, we reversed it. And so it's now in the front here. So we have kind of like a 0-turn mower. And then we've got some green painted material. Some probably know where that came from. In the old school, this part of the 7700 combines, and so we've done this a couple times, and it finally comes apart. But I think right now it's going to be good. Sometime we would like to put a hydraulic pump on it and a hydraulic motor, and then you just have a valve that you can turn on and turn off, and that would be awesome. But right now it does seem to work. So anyway. So that's how it works. Driven off the engine, drive shaft, turns the blades on the deck. Okay, I'm going to set this down. You guys go get some, what do you need to do? Coffee? Oh, doggy biscuits. You want some doggy biscuits? What do you think? Okay, I think that's tight enough. So we'll go ahead and close the shield. Okay, I think we're ready to roll. Oh, this Can-Am has a nice cup holder. They didn't put a cup holder back in 1978. Did they drink coffee back then? Got to have the right decorum for mowing. Okay. And then eye protection, because those grasshoppers fly fast. Okay. I think Kobe's already taken off. Have you? Yep. All right. He's off to his adventure. I'm going to do mine. Let's get this started. So anyway, what I'm doing is there's some weak areas on it just after all the use. Where that where the drive line hooks onto the gearbox that turns the bottom deck blades. That whole area has been welded. It's weak. It's just flexing. So I don't run it very the engine RPM very fast, just to kind of keep the wobbling down to a minimum to make it last, so I can get done. Eventually, we need to go through this Mutant mower and upgrade it. So let's see. This thing starts well. As you can see, it shakes a little bit. We'll speed it up just a little.
Welcome back, everybody. So, with how dry it is around here, the peas are turning fast, and we don't know what they're going to make yet. They're doing okay for considering the year, but that means we got to get the combines out and the headers out and the auger and all that kind of stuff. Now, speaking of auger, that Westfield auger that we have is a 13-inch, 94 feet long. Well, we had a bearing go out at the bottom of it. And come to find out, the flighting has been banging at the bottom of the auger pan, and we think that there's a couple bolts missing in the flighting. So we're going to pull that apart, pull the flighting out, check and see, and hopefully we don't find anything extra. But that means we got to go get that 13-inch Westfield auger. So we're going to use a skid steer. We got a little adapter here and a pin. Lift it up, bring it over here, and let's pull it apart. Hi, Kobe. How you doing, bud? You doing okay? Oh yeah, that tastes bad breath. Really love this thing. Love the wheels. Oh, nothing against the track. Just track has its place, just not on our farm. Skid steer all the time. We are constantly moving machinery and heavy things around and chemical shuttles, and what's nice about these tires that we have from Titan Tire is they just kind of glide across the surface. The tracks would just chatter everywhere you went. So when you're trying to do a very precise, careful maneuver, everything that you're carrying was just chattering and bouncing, and we kind of like the wheels a little bit more, if you can tell. But I do miss the color of that red Case IH skid steer. But some buddy of ours that do custom cutting, they're the owners of it, and yeah, it's got a good home. That's all that matters. We're happy to see that skid steer go to a good home. Anyways, let's move to the shop, get some work done. All right, now let's go get the service truck. So I'm gonna need the crane to lift that swing out auger off, and then we can kind of go from there. All right. Gotta let the air build up in this thing, and then I'll move it over, and yeah. I love this truck. It's a nice truck. It gets the job done. That's what matters. Not pretty, but it gets the job done. Now, how this works is I'll set the parking brake. I'll keep it in gear, and then there's a little lever right down here that I'm going to pull up, and that's going to engage my hydraulic pump from my crane. The reason why I kept it in gear and my foot on the clutch is that way the transmission stops spinning, and then it doesn't just grind trying to get into gear. Pulled it out of gear now, let the clutch out, and then I got a little throttle here that I can set my throttle. After I set my throttle, I'll set the outriggers down. So when I did this truck, this body wasn't originally on this truck, and I pulled it off another truck. They had all the hydraulic levers in the back here, so I moved one hydraulic lever in the front so it could control your front two. It's easier to access and you know what you're doing. And then you got 3 levers here. one for this outrigger, one for the other side, and then there's another one for that hydraulic spool there. And then, as you can tell, I'm putting those down. He's getting the hydraulic spool out. Reason for is we need to, there we go. We need to let that drive over pit down. It's got a hydraulic winch right here, which is one of the sweetest things about this auger, is to let that down with the hydraulics. You don't have to manually crank it like our old one was. That's pretty slick. But anyways, I'm gonna headbutt this thing so I can get the, hang on a second, let me just put my camera down. There we go. Now we got those together. A little bit of hydraulic funness. Oh yeah, found it. Now, what I'm talking about is right inside here is the flighting, and it goes all the way up the auger. Somewhere they have joints where they bolt them together, because the factory doesn't make a flighting that's all the way, and try to ship that would be miserable. So somewhere in this long tube there's a joint. Now the reason why I think it came undone is when we were fixing this bearing that went out right down here, we had to take it off to just inspect it. I noticed, and I kind of thought this auger was getting louder, but the flighting has been banging inside of there, and I can see where it's starting to crack the flighting. It's like, oh great, something, pulled down. Well, I thought maybe the nut and the bearing up there got loose and the whole flighting slid down this way. No, it was tight. I checked it. So I went in there and I was like, well, I'll have to pull the flighting back to get these bolts out, and I barely pushed on it and it slid up real easy. So that tells me that it's probably somewhere in this area there's a joint that the bolt came out, or it's sheared or something, which actually it shouldn't shear, but it just came out, which means we got to pull off this whole red housing here and then slide the flighting out, and then we got to go up there, undo that bearing, and then try to shove the auger or flighting down this way. It's gonna be fun. So, but putting back together shouldn't be too bad. So we're gonna remove all these bolts here. They're probably 5/8 and 11/16, I'm guessing, and then see how it goes. My suspicion was correct. There's no bolt right here. It's missing. So what's been happening is they've got threads and a bearing on that side with a nut, and then they pull it tight so that the product, if you think about it, is trying to corkscrew it all the way up that way. Well, the product is pushing that corkscrew, the flighting, down, which then was putting a tremendous amount of stress on this bearing, and it couldn't take it. And then that's why this piece came down. So now, fun part is we got to go up to that end, take off that bearing, take off that lock nut, and we got to find a way of shoving that whole entire flighting out and then pull it out. And then we got to check every single joint to make sure that they're good, the bolts aren't loose, and make sure there's Loctite or whatever we have to do. Once we get that taken care of, we'll slide it back in and we'll assemble the auger. But that's just, yeah, nothing against the company that made this auger. It's built solid. It's just whoever assembled it must not have did a very thorough procedure on tightening up those bolts. So we're gonna fix that. Okay. To be honest though, this thing's kind of useless on gravel. It's not a very off-road, all-terrain rig, but it does okay. Alright, now that we're here, let's look up. Inspect this. This is what I'm talking about. You see this big nut right here and you see those threads? The whole point of that is to get that slop out of that flighting, because otherwise it'll kind of just be a wet noodle in there and it'll bang. So if you can tighten it, you're stretching it tight, it won't bang as much, won't wear as much on the flighting or the auger. And okay, so I just need a big wrench, a couple Allen wrenches, a hammer, punch, take that bearing off, and we'll see what we can come up with. Alright, this is what we decided to do. He's going to be in the skid steer. As you can tell, he's over there. I got a big long pipe. We're going to slide it over the threads, and then he's going to take the skid steer and just slowly shove that flighting down. We just need to get it down far enough to hook onto the other end and pull it out. So, go like that, and then let's raise this up. Okay. I'm going to be over here like this. I'm just going to kind of center it, and I'm just going to use the scissor lift as a guide to kind of keep it straight. He's going to slowly and carefully finesse it in there. Okay, I'm going to reposition. There we go. Hang on a second. Let me get this chain out of the way. If you ever wonder where I get my skills from, well, that's usually where I get it from. That guy. Okay, let's see if we can grab this chain real quick. Hopefully it popped out the other end, and then we can pull it from the other end. Now, I lifted the crane, lifted the whole tubing and everything up with the crane, so that way it's a little easier to get at. Even if it's not sticking out, as long as we can get in there and get a bolt on it and put a chain on it, that's all that matters. Beautiful! That was planned. Talk about perfect. Now, let's start this truck up. Let's lower it down a little bit. Okay. I love this crane. Makes life a little easy. Alright, let's do this one right here. I'll shut it off. Now I have to, I've got to get a chain, which I have. Actually, what I need is a bolt. I hope this is going to fit. Hey Lloyd, do you want to know what the most annoying sound in the world is? Oh, hold on. Boy, that's a major inconvenience. All right. Wow, that's, whoever put this together, not impressed with that part. Yeah. I think what we'll have to do is we'll probably have to keep putting pipes together somehow and just keep shoving it all the way through, because this is gonna suck. Wow, what an inconvenience. Okay, we talked it over a little bit. My dad had a fantastic idea. We're gonna grab a bunch of 2x4s, screw them together, keep adding lengths to them, and then use those to push the flighting out. Because trying to keep all the pipes and heavy iron and trying to shove it in there, and it's gonna be kind of a major inconvenience. So I like his idea of using 2x4 2x4s. Might have to use 2x6s too, because yeah. Isn't there 2x4s against the wall in the brown building? Or the big blue building?
Yeah.
Status on the Funman's engine. It's in the works. That's what I can tell you. In the works. Alright, this is going to be fun. Take that end, I'll grab this end.
Yeah, we can always screw them on.
Alright. Is that the right size? Okay. Okay, I'm gonna bet that there's another one that's missing a bolt. What do you guys think? Yeah, it didn't even move that flighting. He's gonna go get the skid steer, and then what we'll do is we'll just keep slowly adding as we go. And then hopefully we'll get it out the other end and then hook onto it again and pull it out. And if we pull out another section, we'll do the same thing again. It's weird that 2 bolts are missing. That's odd. Okay, hold up. Okay, now go ahead. Through. All right, we got a little bit sticking out. I think we're gonna go ahead and try it and pull the rest of it out. We'll see. There we go, it's back together. Now we just gotta go get the tractor, kind of go through that a little bit, make sure it's good to go. Grab some trucks, grab some combines, and let's just see what happens this year.
Well, we're in the combine. Just started cutting the peas. As you can see, I've got a few swaths done, but I'm just about full. I'm about 3/4 full. And it's yielding, I'd say around 15 average on this field. That's pretty decent for this year, since we only have less than 2 inches of rain with no submoisture starting out since the 1st of May. So it's another tough year, but we'll go ahead and chew through it and get finished with it, and hopefully we'll get some more rain this fall and get some winter wheat seeded. But I got Kobe with me. Hi, Kobe. Hey, Kobe. He's holding that corner of the cab down so it doesn't fly up all of a sudden. And pretty soon I'll need a truck, so we'll probably won't cut as long tonight, just because we're starting. The forecast is nothing for the next week. We're gonna have the other combine going tomorrow, and with the 2 of them and cut the peas, yeah, we'll easily just make an easy week of harvesting the peas, and then we'll be done. Well, I think pretty much all of them will be ready by next week. The temperature is really climbing up high for us. It's going to get in the high 90s over the this weekend, so that's going to cure whatever's not cured. So it's going to dry, but the peas are ready. As you can see behind me, it's really nice cutting when you have a roller that rolls the ground after you seed the peas, because there's no rocks and it's fairly smooth. So yeah, it really makes it nice cutting. It almost makes me go to sleep, right, Kobe? What do you think? All right, let's see if we can chase down a truck. Okay, the first load's going in the truck. Harvest 23 is happening.